welcome to my review of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders episode 38, part 1 of the Guardian of Hell pet shop. Holy crap, this episode was brutal, intense, and I can really see why people were looking forward to this fight. But the episode begins surprisingly with a comedy scene, something I wasn't expecting. It featured Polnareff and this beggar who was trying to get Polnareff out of his territory. The scene was actually kind of funny, and it was even funnier when this one guy mistaken Polnareff as a foreign beggar, and he was actually given money. Each beggar was assigned a territory as part of this association in Cairo. I don't know if there really is a beggars association in Cairo. I don't know if this actually exists, but if that's true, then that's kind of strange. But okay. But it was revealed later on that he was pretending to be a beggar. I might be overanalyzing this or something, but it looked like that he really was pretending to be a beggar to make a living out of it, because he had a fancy car and he was wearing this fancy suit. It seems that this guy and Abdul know about each other, and Abdul hires him to find Dio's hideout, which he says that he will within 3 hours. I can understand why they would do that since they were really desperate and nearly out of time, but it's not really a good idea. Because, well, if you recall back with the Speedwagon Foundation guys that were spying on Dio and trying to find his hideouts, well, they got close. Unfortunately, they got killed. So if the Speedwagon Foundation guys got killed because they were getting close, then obviously this beggar guy would get killed as well. But he wasn't the first person to find the mansion. It was actually Iggy, who just so happened to stumble upon it. He didn't know it was Dio's hideout until he got attacked by Pet Shop. But before that, he was confronted by these two really big dogs. But sending one glare alone was enough to intimidate them. They were shaking, sweating, and they left Iggy alone. Yeah, you do not want to mess with this Boston Terrier. Anyway, the two dogs then see this silhouette of a bird, which turned out to be Pet Shop, and I don't know what these dogs were thinking. Maybe they wanted to eat this bird, or they wanted to attack it, so they try to go under the gate to get to the other side. When Iggy turned around, the next thing he sees is the two heads of the dogs skewered onto a giant icicle. And then their bodies were pulled under the gate, left a lot of blood. Holy shit, a single bird actually did that. So Pet Shop reveals himself, and you can tell from his appearance alone that this bird is menacing and intimidating. It seemed that Pet Shop was going to attack Iggy, but his attention was caught to the beggar who found the hideout within 2 hours. Unfortunately for him, Pet Shop knew about this because this falcon had really good eyesight and saw the photograph. Knowing that he found the hideout, he can't let this guy live, so he summons a giant icicle and pierces right through his body and the car, and all that was left of him was his arm. Holy shit. I mean, he only appeared like in one scene, but goddamn, that was brutal. So yeah, his stand is called Horus, named after the Egyptian god of the heavens, which makes sense considering that Pet Shop is a falcon after all. And his stand Horus is an ice stand. Its physical appearance wasn't revealed until they got to the sewer scene, but when it did appear, it looked like a 6-armed skeletal pterodactyl robot thing. I don't know, but it was making machine noises, so I thought it was like some sort of like weird robot or something. So all that was left now for Pet Shop was to deal with Iggy. Iggy didn't really want to fight Pet Shop. He didn't want to get involved with all this since it didn't have anything to do with him. I mean, we all knew that he was dragged into this journey, but he just wanted to live a peaceful, carefree life and, I quote, fall in love with a hot bitch. I'm not kidding, that's what the subtitle said. So what he does is he plays dumb so that he can trick Pet Shop to leave him alone. But there was this car heading towards him, and the driver for some reason couldn't like try to like get out of the way, turn around. He said he couldn't stop on time, but Pet Shop managed to get out of the way by flying underneath the car, which was really cool. It seems that Pet Shop acts as the gatekeeper to Dio's hideout. He kills those that tries to get into the hideouts, and those that he leaves alone are the ones that are either stupid or oblivious to the building. So he does go back into the gate, and Iggy was about to leave, but he runs into this kid who happened to be the owner of the two dogs that were murdered. He was looking for them, and for some reason he was asking Iggy where they are, which is not really a smart idea because it's a dog. I mean, it can't speak. Unfortunately, the kid finds one of his dog's collar, and he sees the blood on the gate, so he goes underneath the gate to find out what happens to his dogs, which is not a very good idea. And it seemed that Iggy was going to be an asshole and leave the kid alone because, you know, survival of the fittest and all that. But it turns out that he does have a soft spot for people who like dogs. Too bad he regrets this later on, but he does save the kid from nearly getting killed by Pet Shop. Thank God, because I really didn't want to see a child die in Jojo. But this happened right after the kid sees Pet Shop eating one of his dog's eyeballs. He just plucks out the eyeball from his eye socket with his beak and just chews on it. Oh my God, that was nasty. I didn't think anything would top the fetus scene, but I was wrong. Granted, it was censored, but you can tell what Pet Shop was doing. And I found the scene depicted in the manga. Oh God, that was nasty. So this was how Iggy got involved in all this. He had no choice but to fight against Pet Shop to save this kid. And then he summons his stand, the Fool, which you notice that it is smaller than it was before. I guess because there wasn't a lot of sand, it takes on a smaller form. If there was a lot of sand, if they're like in a desert, then I would assume that the Fool would be huge. But Pet Shop attacks Iggy while he was being distracted by trapping him and his stand on the floor by freezing it. These icicles shoot at Iggy, but he uses the Fool as a sand barrier and escapes underneath the gates. I was wondering how he got his paw out of the floor, but I'm assuming he like broke free somehow, or he probably used the Fool to do it. Which then leads to this really cool chase scene, because it seemed that Iggy was safe at first, but then Pet Shop appears like right at the other side and chases after him while shooting these icicles as torpedoes. It was really cool. In fact, these icicles were so powerful, it blew up a truck. I am not kidding, that actually happened. Eventually, Iggy gets cornered and tried to use the Fool again as a shield, but the Fool broke and Pet Shop kept on shooting the icicles. But when the smoke cleared, Iggy was gone and he somehow ended up in the sewer. I don't know how he did that because the manhole cover was closed. I mean, did he seep through the hole? Or was there like another opening? Or did he like dig his way down into the sewer? I honestly have no idea. So again, it looked like that Iggy was safe, but then frickin' Pet Shop shows up out of nowhere into the sewer. Again, how did these animals get into the sewer? I really have no idea. But then, goddamn, this bird is freaking unstoppable. Pet Shop shoots out more icicles, and it seems to have really hit Iggy this time to the point where his body was torn apart, and it looked like that Pet Shop won. He was even smiling, but it was revealed that it was actually the Fool who disguised himself as Iggy. So Iggy can use the Fool to transform into anything. That's actually a surprising ability that I didn't know that it can do, because I thought that it was a sand clone for a minute there. As for the real Iggy, he was on the ladder near the manhole cover and uses the Fool to get in a nice swipe at Pet Shop's stomach. So Pet Shop was seriously injured, and Iggy figures that they would call it a draw. I mean, he said that he wasn't going to tell anyone about Dio's hideout, but it doesn't really matter to Pet Shop because he knew that Iggy knows about Dio's hideout, so obviously he would kill him. Thus he reveals his stand, Horus, and freezes the entire ceiling and floor, including the entrance from the manhole cover and the exit from shooting out a couple more torpedoes. Thus leads to another chase scene in the sewer. With the physical appearance of Horus, it can produce the icicles on each hand and shoots them out towards Iggy. Eventually, Pet Shop traps Iggy again when he froze the floor. Trapping his paw, he shoots out more icicles, and we don't know if Iggy got hit or if he used the Fool as a shield. I don't even know if he could use the Fool in the sewer, but we won't know because that was where the episode ends off. They ended it off on a freaking cliffhanger, and I hated it because things were getting really good. Ah, damn it. So overall, this episode was really good. This is probably one of my favorite episodes so far. If things continue like this might be my new favorite fight, up there with the Anubis fight. I liked how the narrator was explaining more about the Falcon's connection towards Egypt and Horus, and we get to learn a little bit more facts about the Falcons as well. I also liked how we heard Iggy's thoughts, and he actually talks in this episode, which was really surprising. But since we get to hear Iggy talk and hear his thoughts, we get to learn a little bit more about his character, which is actually pretty good. As for Pet Shop, this bird, Holy crap, this bird is malicious, sadistic, menacing, and downright evil. This might be one of the scariest stand users that I've seen so far, and that's saying much considering what we've seen with Alessi. I mean, Iggy said so himself. He's a machine made to hunt and kill. That's how scary this bird is. And not only that, but Pet Shop is freaking unstoppable. There is like no way to escape this goddamn bird. I mean, in this one scene, Pet Shop, before he used the ice to like freeze his wound to recover, he like puts like one of his feathers on the wound to get the blood, licks the blood and spits it out or something. I'm like, what the hell was up with that? Iggy said that he was trying to be like Bruce Lee, but I don't even know if Bruce Lee would do that. Seriously though, this bird is freaking messed up. As for his stand Horus, it's an interesting stand so far. I mean, I'm a sucker for elemental manipulation, so seeing an ice stand user was pretty cool. It's a shame that he didn't get to fight against Abdul, because Abdul could totally kick that bird's ass, but knowing how this episode is a two-parter, obviously Iggy's going to pull through in the end. Somehow, I'm not sure how. As for animation and artwork, I'm noticing that in several scenes that the animation looks different than what you usually see. And I guess this is a good time to talk about this, but Iggy's second design, I did notice this during the Oingo Boingo episode that he had a new design, but I never actually talked about it. I'm kind of okay with it, but I did prefer his older design because he looks more like a dog. With this new design, he looks more human-like with his face, you know? But I don't have a problem with the new design right now. But animation and artwork was pretty good overall. I especially like the scenes with Pet Shop using his like eyesight. Whenever like his eyes turn red and you see like he's like releasing sort of like a sonar out of his eyes or something like that. I think it was like to represent the Falcon's enhanced eyesight. As for voice acting, Misato Fukuen is doing a pretty good job so far as Iggy, especially when he was like talking or hearing his thoughts. Although I don't know why we don't get to hear Pet Shop's thoughts, but I guess we don't need to because we kind of know what this bird is thinking. I don't know who voiced the beggar though, but I guess it doesn't really matter because, well, he's dead and all. So overall, this episode was really good. Definitely one of the better ones that we've seen so far. And if things keep up like this, this fight might be like my new favorite fight, up there with Anubis. Not only that, but this episode had a lot of suspense. It was very intense, and there was a lot of messed up, gory scenes in this episode, even if they were censored, but it was still really messed up. Yeah. A lot of animal cruelty in this episode and next week's episode. Speaking of next week's episode, the preview has shown that Iggy does eventually escape. Although the preview shows this guy wearing sunglasses. I don't know who it is, but I think that's Kakyoin. Is it Kakyoin? You know what? Don't tell me. I want to be really surprised when he does show up. But I hope it is because I miss Kakyoin and I really want him to come back because it's been so goddamn long already. Alright, so tell me guys, what do you think of this week's episode of Stardust Crusaders? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What are your thoughts so far on Pet Shop and his stand Horus? And what do you think of the fight so far between Iggy and Pet Shop? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video if you like it and subscribe to more videos, and be sure to check out my Facebook fan page and Google+. So yeah, that is Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders episode 38. Really good episode. The fight so far is really good and I'm really rooting for Iggy. This two-parter is definitely going to make me like Iggy even more. I'm gonna respond 27 and I'll see you guys later. Bye.